All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is your favorite dark sorcerer here. And today I'm going to do a cartomancy reading for you. It's going to be an open read. Um, I always do an open read because it allows the spirits to get their messages to who they need. And it's ironic how they tend to reach out in such a manner that it speaks to certain people. Their messages always hit their target. I don't know why or how they do it, but it does. I've always said that the cards never lie. You can lie to people, you can lie to me, but the cards never lie. And the spirits, when they speak, it's best to listen. So, all right. Ah, interesting. All right, so I just drew four cards, okay, for you. The Ten of Scepters, the Ace of Scepters, the Star, and the Devil. I know what you're thinking. Those of you coming on that's never seen a cartomancer reading, modern day tarot cards type reading. Oh my God, I got the devil. Oh no, what the fuck? You know, but it's really not that bad. It really isn't. Basically, the Ten of Scepters indicates an aspect that is not being followed. Pharaoh Stiller X, welcome. So, the Ten of Scepters basically states that there are things that is not being looked at. You're basically overlooking something. And the ironic part here is that you're dealing with an aspect of Saturn. It's playing a role into this. So the question is, what is it that it's needing to be heard or something that needs to be seen? The Scepters is more of a magical pursuit. Think of it in a form of spirituality, magical practice. Could be anything from a vision that you've received, something that you're not, paying close attention to. It could be the spirits are trying to guide you to knowledge and you are not heeding it. There's a number of different things when it comes to this card, especially the scepters. Another variation of the scepters is the wands. It's a magical tool. Now you'll notice she's holding a spear, number one. Okay, let me see if I can get this to clear it up a little bit here so you can actually see it. Now you'll notice right up here on the mask, right up here is the symbol for Saturn. It's an astrological symbol, planetary symbol. See if I can't get it. Yeah, maybe I have to go closer. I don't know. There we go. So yeah, this one here is actually in shadow aspect. There is, for those of you who do not know, there's an application between the polar opposites. You have what is known as a light position, which is where you're heating things, all things are going good, you're working towards your goals, that type of thing. Whereas The shadow aspect of the card is when it's placed down in shadow aspect, it literally is telling you that you are neglecting something. And in this case, that is exactly what it's telling me. Okay. You are neglecting something that is dealing with a magical perspective, not just spiritual. It could be one or the other because scepters represent both spiritual and magical pursuits. Necromancy is not only a magical practice, but it is also a thing of spiritualism. Spiritualism. Think Nikia, okay? Voodoo, same exact thing. Santeria, Pero Mayambi, or even Brujeria, same exact thing. The divining aspect of this card is still the same. Light versus dark, or dark versus light, rather. But in this case, the indicator is magical and spiritual, so not just the planetary aspect. The second card is the Ace of Scepters. This one's pretty much straightforward. I'm going to show it to you here. I'm going to see if I can't get it. There we go. Beautiful card. Beautiful, beautiful card. There you go. So you have the Ace of Scepters and you have the Ten of Scepters. So basically, this reading so far is taking on a spiritual and emotional, basically one of those magical pursuits. And both of these cards are actually in shadow position. So there's definitely something that you're neglecting. There's something that you are definitely overlooking. The question is it something that the spirits are trying to show you how to do? For an example, oneomancy, maybe evocation, some form of altar setup that will discern a better connection through spiritus. It could be a rite or ritual that you're trying to master, something that you're trying to master, but not quite adapting to the experimentation to empower it and make it better, more thorough. Okay. This is definitely the spiritual aspect because the cross represents spirituality. It deals with the celestial or the divine, divinity aspect. The roses, according to biblical lore, is associated with the Christ. And yes, Pharaoh Stiller, I saw that comment earlier that you retracted. Own that shit. Own that shit. Okay, because I did see it come up. And you did use the term Jesus Christ with a smiley face with tears. So, yes, I saw that. Now that I'm done picking on you. So, anyways, in this case, the red roses symbolize the Christ aspect, or at least the offering, the lamb. Okay, animal sacrifice. Whatever sacrifice you're doing, you take this with accordance with your practices. It symbolizes a disconnection, maybe a misunderstanding between you and the spirits, something that you were not specific on. Okay, there's a lot of things that go along with this. Okay, so like I said, the third one is the star. Okay, you'll notice on her chest she has what is known as the Star of David. Okay, oh, God damn it, there we go. I want to see if I can bring that into focus. See right there. That's the Star of David. Basically, it's a Jewish custom. But there was one other custom that went along with it that a lot of people are unaware of. It's also a Hermetic symbol. So, so yeah, this one here was actually in light, and it's basically the journey. The star is more of a solar aspect. In this case, you're dealing with the nocturnal aspects. Stars can burn for hundreds of thousands of years if in working order. But what happens when that light gets snuffed out? You know what I'm saying? What if it gets snuffed out? You still have hundreds of thousands of years for that light to go through space and basically go out by the time it reaches here. Think of it from, say, another galaxy, okay, outside the Milky Way. Here we see where this light can diminish as it gets closer, but at the same time, we're going to be seeing it. Our ancestors, our children, our future generations will see it long after we're gone. But eventually, it's going to go. You know what I'm saying? But the star is more of the indicator of the bloom, the illumination. If you actually look at the roses on it, you'll understand again it's dealing with spirituality. Certain stars have been associated through mythological and folkloric traditions, like, for an example, Ra, the sun god. Let's go with that's Egyptian mythology, Ra, the sun god in Egyptian mythology. You have Phosphorus, the ancient Greek god known as the day star, whereas his brother Hespios was known as the dark star. Okay, this is just the star, and each one has a pillar of knowledge that you may want to delve into. The chalice in hand being dumped out in both hands, dumping. This tells me that it's more about knowledge and the ridding of the human aspects. Maybe it's the mortality, the physical realm that needs to be diminished so that you can transpire and reach for the heavens. There's a lot that goes into that. The Devil card deals with the planetary spirit of Saturn, but at the same time, you're also dealing with the elementals. So, the Devil card basically is indicating that it's about the love of life, the physical and carnal nature of not only the spiritualism, but also the magical communion. Now, you take, for an example, that today marks the end of the Witches' Sabbath, okay? October 26th to the 6th of November, all right? So it's not surprising that you see the devil come up at least once over the last week or so. But it's interesting because the elementals deal with the balancing of the four main pillars connected by the fifth. Now, what this indicates is the whole. When you master each pillar, be it fire, air, earth, water, and spirit, you you end up reaching a enlightened state. Okay, this is where Lucifer played into to Satanism. He became known as the Enlightener, the light bearer, if you will. And it's very interesting to see because he's been identified as the carnal beast that is only interested in corruption and betrayal. The pact maker, the creator, of sin and condemnation throughout the Hebraic systems. The star goddess, the goddess of the stars, Andromeda, if you will. Andromeda was classified in Hollywood produced films as a goddess of celestial realms, but later she became associated with a warship, not just an AI, and that's just in Hollywood produced fiction. But if you actually get into mythology, Andromeda was a very wise goddess. She was powerful, perhaps one of the first feminists. if you think about it. But she was also one of mysticism. So the question comes down to this. You have two cards in shadow, two cards in light. Obviously, you got the balance in play. When you look at the equal armed cross, you have the four soul types. But you also got light versus dark, good versus evil. The four soul types doesn't necessarily mean that you're evil or vile. It's more the fact that you have a lust for life and the physical beauties thereof. If you're into the occult, the arcana, be it any given system of magic, the devil represents the applications of magical practice. Some people enjoy rituals, they enjoy meditation, they enjoy the studying and the practice of magic, be it white, black, gray, red, green, if you're into brujeria, or black and white if you're into witchcraft in general. It's the balancing factor that scales it. um Obey and brujeria are two practices that are based off healing and justice, whereas Palo Mayumbi and Palo Monte is not only spiritual but personal benefits through the sorceries. Satanism, obviously, self-indulgence. So it comes down to your perspective in religion, on what you believe in. The overall story basically defines it as it's you're dealing with a system of magical. It could be an attack. It could be something that you need to step up and do. Okay, perhaps it's something that you're meant to see, hear, or learn. Either way, you might want to delve into the full characteristics of these cards. And I'm going to tell you that this is the Ian Daniels deck. Okay, it's a vampiric deck. And it covers a lot of different things from magical to physical to emotional to even magical. Okay, magical, spiritual, the whole kit and caboodle. I love this deck because of that. It's one deck for just about every topic you can think, and it gives you a wide range of topics on what these cards indicate. The devil, the star are in light position, basically the illuminating essence, if you will. And then you have the Ten of Scepters and the Ace of Scepters, which are in shadow aspect. The roses are a symbol of love, basically. So you want to pay attention to what you're enjoying out of life, especially if you're in the pursuit of magic, mysticism, and spirituality. This really plays a huge part in that. So there's an aspect that you are neglecting when it comes to devout worship. Perhaps it's servitude. Okay, if you're Christian, perhaps you're not praying or worshiping enough. Perhaps you're not giving your tithes. If you're into Satanism, perhaps you're not committing yourself fully to Satane and Luciferi and all the demonic. Okay, you aligned yourself with the forces of darkness, but you're not committing yourself to working with the spirits themselves. There could be a part of you that's still in doubt, perhaps still what they refer to as the jet lag application. For those of you who do not understand what the jet lag application is, it's when you get off a jet, you are so tired that you would sleep for a few days. Okay, unless you have a specific notion where you know how to understand energy transformation, transference wise. In this case, you're looking at the fact that you're probably not devoting yourself as a servant. Perhaps you're not given the right offerings, not asking the right questions, or even putting forth the right applications within your rites and rituals because you lack that understanding. When it comes to scepters, this type of thing is common, namely because of the fact that how do you expect to gain knowledge, wisdom, and prosperity if you are lacking a lot of the pieces for the chessboard? Okay, you can't play the game at that point because you're missing those pawns, those pieces. But if you had all the pieces and you were learning about where you are now and where you want to be, do you think you would benefit from that? The answer is yes. But like I said, the star is the warrior, much like the huntress, Athena, even. Perhaps even what's the best definition I can give? Think of the Leo, the hunter, the chariot, the bow and arrow. Athena is not only the goddess of wisdom, but she's also a goddess of warfare. So when you think of a star, you're thinking religious worship, religious devotion, committing yourself 100 and as my brother John Saunders would say, 666%. Okay? I want you to remember that. All right? But I would recommend looking at your religious and philosophical belief structure. What are you trying to accomplish? You know, what experiments have you done or undertaken? Have you aligned yourself fully with whatever pantheon that you worship? And most importantly, what applications of those experiments have you put forth? Okay. What is it that you love doing? In this case, it's a lack of passion. It's a lack of love. It's a lack of devotion towards the pantheons, to spirituality, not just the magical applications that go along with it. I believe, if I remember correctly, I can't. I want to say it was Anton LaVey. No, it was not Anton LaVey. It was actually Volker Colossus Oriax who said it best. Think of black magic or sorcery as a phone number. Each application has its area code, its zip code, and most in common, importantly, I should say, the actual numbers that go to where you are going to be delving into. Okay, I want you to think about that because these are things that you need to question. These are things that you need to pay attention to. The star and the devil, they're all good omens. Don't think any ill about them. Okay, because there's nothing ill about these two cards. It's the first two cards that you want to pay attention to, and that again is the Ten of Scepters and the Ace of Scepters. This is where your issues are. Okay, this is what you're lacking, perhaps even neglecting. Okay, perhaps you've even overlooked them. Either way, it's a great time to sit back, reflect upon what you're trying to accomplish, where you're trying to get to, and what your aims are within your practice, not just your spirituality. All right. So pay attention to that. All right. Hope this has helped. And until next time, have a good one.